Welcome to News Weekend, a quick roundup of Catholic news from around the region.
On 11th October, bulldozers demolished the largest evangelical church of Jaunpur, the Jeevan Jyoti Church in Uttar Pradesh. The Uttar Pradesh government, led by Hindutva advocate Adityanath, says that the Jeevan Jyoti Christian Religious Prayer Center in Bhulandi village was built illegally. 7 bulldozers had been used for the demolition. The action, which started at 5 in the evening, continued till late night. The boundary wall built, the hall, rooms and other construction were torn down. The governing body of the Jeevan Jyoti Christian Prayer Center have been ordered to compensate the Uttar Pradesh administration for the cost incurred by the demolition. Reportedly, a notice of expenditure of 2,83,000 rupees has been given to the church management.
You are watching News Weekend. Catholic news events from near and far away.
On the 8th of October, the joint Delhi Domestic Workers Unions celebrated the festival of Karam and Naya Khani at Columbus School in Delhi. The event, which celebrates the sprouting of rice, is a Thanksgiving festival. It drew all closer to nature and to the tribal culture. Father Nicholas Barla, the CBCI Tribal Affairs in charge, was the main celebrant at the Holy Eucharist. The story of Karam was narrated. Father Vincent Ekka led the traditional prayer. Various women domestic union groups presented their group dances. Jesuits from Jorbagh, Indian Social Institute, and brothers from Vidya Jyoti participated in the program. The Ursuline sisters led the event.
"170 delegates from all over India are attending their annual assembly at Pala in Kottayam, Kerala. The theme is Fraternity and Humanity, Walking Together. The Supreme Court has restrained the police from arresting a well-known Christian educationist on charges of attempting to convert people in a northern Uttar Pradesh state. The court asked police to refrain from any coercive proceeding against Rajendra Bihari Lal, Vice-Chancellor of Sam Higginbotham University of Agriculture, Technology and Sciences. The court intervened to stop Lal's arrest from a New Delhi hospital, where he is undergoing treatment for pneumonia. The newly appointed Latin Patriarch of Jerusalem, Cardinal Pierbattista Pizzaballa, has called for all Catholics in Israel to hold a day of prayer and fasting for peace and reconciliation in the war-torn region. Archbishop Andrews Thashath, chairman of the Catholic Bishops' Conference of India, CBCI, said that India needs to protect its citizens in Israel. Catholic parishes across Kerala have been instructed to gather information about those currently in Israel, keep in touch with their family members and instill confidence in them. An estimated 8,000 Kerala Catholics currently live in Israel.
His Holiness, Pope Francis, has appointed Father Linus Nelly as Archbishop of Imphal, in Manipur state. The 66-year-old Manipur bishop-elect is a local boy born in Imphal in 1957.
You are watching News Weekend. Catholic news events from near and far away.
To the powerful I ask, why do you want to preserve a power that will be remembered for its inability to stop the climate crisis when it was urgent and necessary?
On 11th October, the Apostolic Nuncio to India and Nepal, Archbishop Leopoldo Girelli, released the Indian edition of Laudate Deum, the Apostolic Exhortation of Pope Francis, at Kathmandu, in Nepal. Pope Francis released the Laudate Deum on October 4, 2023, the feast of Saint Francis of Assisi. The Apostolic Exhortation is the Pope's cry for a response to the climate crisis.
Today, a single generation can experience the acceleration of global warming. We're not talking about centuries or millennia, but just a few years. We do not have to look far to find the cause. It is us. How are we going to take care of our common home if we conform to the logic of maximum profit at the lowest cost? This logic gives power to a few and contributes to the fact that the most disadvantaged suffer especially the consequences of climate change. In Laudato Si', Pope Francis already addressed the consequences of the process of environmental degradation. Over these 8 years, the planet has continued to suffer from our attacks. Behind this lack of an effective response, there is a technocratic paradigm that starts from the idea that human beings can expand without any limits their power thanks to technology. If we do not break out of this technocratic paradigm, we will isolate ourselves from the world around us, in which God has united us all. To change this trend, multilateral agreements among states are essential. It is necessary that world organizations have a real authority to ensure that the objectives set out in them are achieved. This has not been the case up to now, because the damage to the planet has already been done, but we still have time to prevent it from becoming greater. The COP28 of the United Nations, to be held in Dubai, must be a turning point. This conference must produce agreements for the energy transition that are efficient, binding, and easy to monitor. Let us act. Let us accept the invitation of Pope Francis to walk together on a path of reconciliation with the world in which we live and to beautify it with the contribution of each one of us. This message, which the Pope has entitled Praise God, reminds us that human beings who pretend to take the place of God become the worst danger to themselves.
That's all for this week. Come back next week for another compilation of Catholic News.